yeah, I'll kick it off then. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm Madeline. I'm the content and community manager here at Synup. There's going to be a really great webinar today. Roshan is our senior director of product, and Raj is the president and co-founder of one of our favorite clients, but don't tell anyone else that. So it's going to be a great conversation today, and I promise you'll come away from this with some great insights on how to use personalization for your own business. Yeah, so I'll just go ahead and introduce Roshan and Raj. Yeah, so Roshan is our senior director of product. He has over 10 years of experience in building MarTech software as a service platforms. He owns the product campaign line at Synup, but prior to that, he has led product delivery teams at Disney, Amadeus, and Cox Automotive. Raj is our guest speaker here, and he is the co-founder and president of Whoops, which is a macaron business. He specializes in franchising, finance, small business investing, mergers and acquisitions, retail, childcare, fitness. He's also a health and wellness coach and a gifted public speaker, which I'm sure you'll see. Before I let them take over, we just wanted to do a quick poll to get an understanding of what everybody here on the webinar today, what their understanding is of local marketing, so we can fill in any knowledge gaps before getting into it. So yeah, if you've used Slido before, I'm sure you know how this works, but if you have your phone handy, just go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen, and it's just a word cloud, so just type in what personalized local marketing means to you and your business. And we'll give you guys a minute or so to answer. Connecting with customers, getting better customers for sure. Being relevant, definitely. Everything, yeah. We know that. Okay, being easy to find, definitely. Yeah, let's see. Engaging with our local market, better reach, client engagement, awareness, client acquisition. Yeah, these are all great answers.
Yeah, some great responses are coming in there.
Yeah, so it sounds like everyone here is a fan of personalized local marketing. Brand loyalty. Okay, and then we have one other quick poll, so we could just go to the next.
Yeah, but we still have answers coming in.
Okay.
All right. You want me to move on, Madeline? On the next
yeah,
one?
we can do.
I believe we have enough answers on this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So just this next question, it sounds like everybody knows what personalized local marketing is. So what have you done to implement it in your business? The answer might be nothing, and that's fine too. I can have an email, definitely. Responding to reviews, Yelp, a lot of review-based answers. Someone in this chat said Craigslist, definitely.
I see mailing also. I believe someone is, well, responding to reviews is really the winner, I believe.
Yeah.
But this is great.
This is awesome.
Great. Yeah. So it sounds like everybody's pretty versed in it. So yeah, thank you guys for participating in the poll. It's always good to know where the audience is at in terms of knowledge base. So yeah, I'll let Raj and Roshan take it over from here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Madeline. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for this this interactive Q&A to kick us off. Some very interesting answers over here. Okay, so Raj, before I jump right into the slide that I'm presenting, tell us a little bit about, we heard what you do, what you are. I'm personally also aware of, pretty much, a lot of things that you do. Tell us a little bit about Whoops. How long ago you started this business? Tell me how many locations you have. Tell us a little bit about the French macaroons that you have created.
Sure. So, Whoops is your typical small business franchise. For those who don't know franchising, in the US, there's around 1,400 franchise systems in place. What that means is there's all these different types of businesses, from Dunkin' Donuts to Whoops to Tutor Doctor to all these that do either product selling, services, retail. It could be anything. And there's just a ton of companies out there. And one thing that plagues all small businesses is the ability to, you have an entrepreneur, you have a sole proprietor, and whether the brand helps in doing marketing, maybe at the national level, but they definitely need help at the local level. You might have some really big companies that control everything really nicely, and they've been in the game for a long time. But Whoops is a newer franchise. We've been around for 10 years, started franchising 7 years ago. And today we have 27 locations across the nation. We are operating out of cafes or little kiosks within trafficked areas like malls and public transportation centers. And we're selling French macaroons. We're the largest French macaroon company in the US. It sounds like a nice big claim, and it is, but the reality is our average franchisee is running a small business from their location. And one of the biggest things, as a growing franchise is, we want to control everything, but as an entrepreneur, they want to have their own flavor. And, we're based out of New York. We could be looking at the company in its entirety and trying to make decisions at the national level. But the beauty of franchising is bringing that local flavor into the business, and having a local proprietor doing local marketing physically, but also using the best tools out there to leverage the limited time that they have, because they have to do accounting, they have to do operations, they have to do marketing in a sense. And so as a franchisor, it's my responsibility to try to give the best tools to the franchisees to be able to afford it and to make sure they're implemented. And sometimes you get pushback from franchisees. They want to do it their own way, but systems in place are important. So when we reached out to Synup, we were facing some normal challenges. We didn't have a strong Google My Business presence and needed that local directory aspect of things. We were using some other local listings, but just the job wasn't getting done properly. And with any small business, especially us being in retail, we rely on traffic coming into us, exposure, getting known. And that's what really drives a business. And we were stagnating for several years. And since switching over to Synup or reaching out to you really was to try to increase that visibility, that real local marketing of connecting with people, creating awareness and conversion with our customer base, and everything that's related to small business.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thank you. You already partly answered my question there. Tell us a little bit about the push you had to produce more content.
Sure.
I believe that's one of the things you wanted to. You have all these great products, and then we'll get into the products that you also have in a few slides. Tell us a little bit about how you wanted the more content to be created, more content to be seen, and wanted to spread awareness.
And that's the thing. As a brand, I urge all the listeners, when you get a chance, to check out our website, www.bywoops.com, bywoops.com, or our Instagram handle. And we have a beautiful brand. Our packaging is excellent. French macaroons are that product that is considered very luxurious and rich, but we want to make it accessible. And we try to incorporate it into lifestyle. So we've got great packaging, we've got great pictures, But in this digital age, it doesn't matter what you have if you cannot communicate with potential customers and build awareness of the brand, then you're not really going anywhere. And this is what we were facing. There's so many digital brands out there, so much going on in the market. You can, you can literally search anything and find anything. But if you're not in that flow of where people are looking and trying, it's like being in a mall. I like using this example. If you're in the corner of a mall, it doesn't matter how many people come into the mall, no one's seeing you. But if you're right dead smack in the middle, in center court, people are going to see you. Awareness builds. And that's the same thing with digital, whether it's reviews, with all this beautiful content that we have, we need a mechanism to be able to push out, not just through social media posts, but other ways. And that was one of the biggest challenges we were facing. We just weren't seeing increasing numbers of calls and website connects and even calls for directions.
Yeah, no, that's great. Tell me more about, so I think you touched upon this a little bit. Tell me more about what is it that you are really looking to improve in terms of driving physical store traffic or driving the local digital sales?
A little bit of both. So we didn't have so much in terms of delivery and pickup initially. We weren't so much focused on that digital side of things. We just didn't have the infrastructure. Because these locations, again, are in malls typically, and it's not a restaurant per se. So Uber Eats and those type of things didn't really help. So we were looking to drive more traffic if someone is visiting a mall, for them to kind of see what's in there. And so yes, drive physical traffic or nearby, but also get when someone's searching for certain words, whether it's through our campaign, the campaign stuff we can talk about, or just posts on Google My Business, having more content to be visible when people are searching from an SEO perspective, so that we are seeing traffic being driven to our website, which we implemented a couple of years ago to be able to enable delivery and pickup, and most recently an online digital ordering platform. So it's a little bit of both, driving physical traffic, building awareness, but also once that awareness is out there, creating conversion type of campaigns to be able to get people to click through and buy.
Right. No, that's great. I believe that sets a good context. So I think you seems like you had multiple challenges. Some typical, some new, some you were identifying as you were moving along. Let's talk about some of the initiatives that you took, some of the local marketing initiatives specifically, and maybe help describe what led you to sign up also.
Sure. So as I started, there's really two trains of thought in franchising or any sort of business that has a national component to it, but also localization. It could be a local manager making decisions. It could be local employees making a decision for that location. But to be able to maintain brand standards, it's important to make sure to control it and to kind of figure it out. In our case, we had given a lot more control to the franchisees, assuming that they would be able to do some of these, what we thought was pretty basic in terms of having a listing, making sure you are on Yelp and Facebook and managing your reviews and putting up the right collateral, the digital collateral, not making just random stuff, making it consistent across all the locations, but having that local flavor. And we were finding that it was just a lot of work for franchisees to have that, and to be able to even run digital marketing and all that. So one thing that we did when the pandemic hit, that was a chance to really tighten up and figure out, okay, the only way out of this, and we had no runway and no forward thinking as to what this is going to happen, but the only way to survive was to really think digital. And most companies went, they pushed on digital much harder at that time anyways. We weren't doing anything new per se, but one thing that was unique to us was our franchisees weren't necessarily spending money on advertising. They weren't doing some of these basic things that you need in local marketing, listings being one of them as a core part of infrastructure. and they weren't pushing out that content. So at that point, we decided to say, hey, some franchisees had to close. Unfortunately, we were based in malls, so the malls were closed. And we said, all right, we're going to take this by the horn and definitely take control over local marketing for the franchisees' benefit, to start spending money on their behalf, but also and then we were looking for a good listings partner and a digital advertising partner. And we found Synup and another company called Hyperlocology that helps us do the digital advertising, but we still needed that local listings infrastructure, which we decided to do with Synup, given just the we did some deep diligence, found you guys to be doing some phenomenal stuff. And just that connectivity was much better in terms of being able to get the franchisees to make changes on the back end wherever they needed, but for us to just instantly change all the locations and all the information across the board, providing this local aspect.
Right. Driving consistency, I believe, driving standardization, consistency, to be able to have a central place to manage this. So how do you have, naturally yours, Whoops is a franchise business. You wanted the corporate to be also at the center or be a layer before any content is going on or any local listing updates are happening. That's really how you wanted the setup also to be.
Correct. So, we wanted that duality. If franchisees wanted to put up their local content, they could. But if they just didn't do it, we didn't want to not have any sort of information flow out there. So we have this duality where someone on our team is pushing out content through the local listings, especially Google My Business and Facebook. And then if franchisees want to add their local flavor, they definitely can. But it allows us to create that consistency and making sure that our beautiful assets and our name is getting out there, and we're right in the middle of in the digital traffic flow.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And last but not least, tell us a little bit about, I think you mentioned you identified one of the places where you saw large room for improvement was producing more content. How did you go about it? Tell us a little bit about how you went about setting up the team and how often are they producing new content?
Yeah. We were producing some basic content before, but we definitely realized, look, content is king, especially in this day and age. And it's not just about social media. I think that's another fallacy that we find with our local franchisees, that they're creating content locally and just putting up on social media, and it's not really creating more sales, not creating engagement. So we first off hired a social media manager, but more of a social manager and a content creator. Those were two things that we added to be able to start creating content that matters in various different ways. So through Synup, we're posting and doing campaigns using Synup's feature that allows us to post up on Google My Business and use Google My Business as almost like a social media angle. Because the reality is, most people are searching using Google. They're going to see businesses listed, and they're going to click on the Google My Business and the listing through Google largely. And that's the point where you have a chance to impress and make sure that the content's there. And so when we started having promotions and specials, whether it's Mother's Day is coming up, so we have Mother's Day stuff. But hey, Ramadan we had Ramadan last month. It's Eid, so we decided to start creating content and specials and boxes for different occasions. So we're always relevant. It's just not Christmas and the holidays. We want to celebrate different types of celebrations and create not only sleeves on our end, packaging, but content that allows us to communicate with different people and have different hashtags or different click-throughs based on occasion. Ramadan, Holi, Diwali, Passover, whatever it might be. And we just want to be more relevant. And so that was the importance of bringing on a couple of people on our content team to be able to create that and then use Synup to kind of disseminate content.
No, absolutely. And we are going to get into the seasonality and the being relevant and being more relatable aspect of it. So I think from what I understood, Roger, you wanted to meet customers and talk about the products, talk about your offerings, talk about what you have, where you are being found. And again, I think you touched upon it. One of the most interesting facts that I have found out, and this is a study that was published by Google. As of 2021, 65% of the searches, the listing searches that are happening, more than 3/4, we can claim, they do not even result into a click onto the profile. That's because the consumer, what they want to see is probably not found. It's beyond NAP. It's no longer just about name, address, phone number, or seeing that, hey, the business hours are perfectly or accurately listed over there, and the business is open so that you can just go there. It is also about serving that personalization, serving that content that is relevant to the consumer, staying within this third-party ecosystem. And that's really where Google controls most of this, but it's very hard to bring in personalization in a third-party ecosystem, using Google as an example. But Facebook, Yelp, Bing, Foursquare, these are no different. So tell us, I think you made a beautiful point there, where you wanted to bring content where the customers are finding you and where traffic is really going. That's something that I'm going to take back with me. But tell us why just listings wasn't enough. What else you were looking to do in terms of just unleashing the power of local marketing. Content was produced. Did you see the visibility the content was getting when it was purely on your website?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I think about name, address, phone number, and just hours, it reminds me of the days of just basic yellow pages. People had very few choices. They only had one place to go, and businesses couldn't afford full page ads. And the bigger the ad, or the bigger the yellow page listing, it just knew that they were a bigger company. And if it was just a single line item, fine, you were a small company. Things have changed, right? 30 years, 20 years from then. And now people are much more, they don't have patience for research. As soon as they see something, they want all the information at their fingertips. So if I type in macaroons or GIFs, and maybe whoops just shows up, my eyes and my attention are going to go to where there's more content. Number one, where are the reviews? Number two, okay, we might be in a world of fake reviews or made up reviews. Well, show me quick content as to I can understand what the product is about, and really, is it a really good service or product? And that's where pictures, videos, any sort of further information, just also even in the posts underneath, if you don't know about this feature, you can add posts and almost make it social media like. Even language and tone of voice can come through. So within Google My Business, you can, in the first 5 seconds to 10 seconds that a customer clicks onto you, can show them more about your brand and what you are about, and what your kind of motto is, or the tone and feel that you want to give to a customer within that. So might as well give them all the information so they can make a better decision to continue to click through, to research more, or to move on. And in this hyper competitive space, these are the little fine things that matter, and it catches people's eye. And it was critical to have all of that within that listing aspect.
Right. Yeah. Before I move on, I also wanted to ask this question, and this may be a question I believe I hope it's a question that we will soon stop asking. But tell us about what kind of changes you saw in how consumers were finding you post-pandemic, or as we are into post-pandemic.
Sure. Oh, post-pandemic. So not during COVID. Or
let's talk about during COVID, and then what kind of change you have seen in how consumers are finding you.
Absolutely. So before the pandemic, the shift to digital has always slowly started moving, right? Search and whatnot. There's definitely a shift towards mobile. Mobile is controlling all types of search versus desktop. Yeah. So this day and age, being where people are trying to search Siri or Amazon, Alexa, or whatever it might be. You need to be kind of influencing that channel because people are now not even typing, they're asking and getting the top 3 listings that these verbal search.
Voice search optimization.
Yeah. So you're not relying on your eyes anymore. Your information better, better be fully up to date. If someone's saying, show me the best macaroons, and Alexa says one company, whoops, and another, well, even that needs to, resonate. And, we changed our name to Whoops Macaroons and Gifts, for example, purposely, because if there is that voice control, you want to hear gifts, you want to hear macaroons and whatnot. So you want to understand that. And then most importantly, people are sitting at home, they could not travel, and that the reliance on getting stuff to them at the door or being able to pick up in a safe manner quickly was very, very important. And that shifted from from shopping to food to gifts and all those type of things. And it's it actually accelerated rapidly. So the delivery online order aspect cranked up in our business substantially. The e-commerce side became a key part. But then we also saw, as soon as the malls opened up, when we were ready, I mean, during that hard pandemic phase, March 2020 to July 2020, in those 4 months, we really mobilized. That's when we came on with you guys. And we just introduced our website. We made it so much easier for the customer to order macaroons, to get it picked up, for us to curate their gift. And they can, so within the mall, we would be the only busiest location because we took it up a notch and we became a destination. Whereas before we were very passive. And that really started because we went beyond just listings management. We really kind of showed what we had to offer, but use the best digital tools to trump kind of what was going on and really align ourselves with that customer and that changing consumer behavior.
Yeah, no, that's great. This is actually a good segue into so understanding that these were all the problems and typical challenges that Whoops was going through. I remember this is a conversation that Raju and I were having not too long ago, about a year and a half ago. That hey, you have a push to produce the content, to create the content. You have set up a team, and you really wanted to double down on that. How can we help surface this content on the listings? And obviously, with staying within the restrictions of a third-party ecosystem such as Google, it was very hard. However, with Synup Campaigns, we were able to at least peel 5 layers. So maybe I'll talk about how we started using campaigns for Whoops. But then I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about how the push from your side was in order to get more and more relevant, seasonal, holiday-centric content created. So with Synup Campaigns, one of the core things or the core problems that was identified was really that, hey, all this content that is being created by the marketing team, by the content team, it is nowhere to be seen unless someone is going on the business's or the brand's website. And then with that, obviously Campaigns was created. We started leveraging very simple features within GMB and Facebook and even Bing, Yelp, some of our partner publishers, to create posts, the features that are directly available for consumers through the dashboard in order to just create these posts. So one of those was to create special offers or to create informational posts. Now, creating posts is one action that user could take. But however, in order to create posts regularly, to be relevant to the month, relevant to the season or time of the year, or even relevant to weather, those were some of the things we were able to quickly identify and start promoting this content. I'm using the word content a lot, but it's really the sleeves, the product, the collection, and the gift boxes that Whoops had of macaroons, really surfacing on the on the third-party profiles, such as your GMB profile. So let's talk about this. Remind me, I believe Valentine's Day is really one of the number one events for Whoops. And as far as I remember, Mother's Day, which is coming up less than a week from now, is number two. And tell us about all the other events that you introduced and created content around that, created products also around that. Help me understand that a little bit.
Sure. So, I mean, in the gifting business, in the food gifting business, and even kind of luxury goods, it is very seasonal. It can be seasonal, right? Holiday season in the malls, and we were mall based, right? So when do people go to the malls most often? When the weather is bad, when they have to go get a gift, when there's a special occasion, or holiday time, November, December. So we do see seasonality in our business, and at that point, everyone is kind of pushing hard on advertising. Everyone is pushing hard on putting up physical content, whether it's posters in the locations and whatnot. And we wanted to, obviously double down on those holiday seasons as well, but kind of bridge the gap and to create our own little seasonality with different sleeves. So for us to design a sleeve, relatively easy. We can produce it. We got to get it out to all our franchisees. So there is a little bit of coordination, but what we felt was, and as a company, we want to celebrate different aspects of life. And life isn't just about Mother's Day, Valentine's, holidays, and a couple of, maybe Easter. We have different diaspora in from different cultures in the US. And so let's celebrate different occasions. And we all have a Asian friend, an Indian friend, a Muslim friend, and we can have products for them to share with their friends. So we decided on pushing Chinese New Year, as I said, Diwali, Holi, Ramadan, Eid, Passover, just to try to fill those gaps so that we can start becoming relevant as people are searching for gifts in those occasions. We start popping up, and that's and the way we can pop up is creating content not only through advertising, which obviously is a costly thing, but how do we maximize our listing and the infrastructure that we had? Well, by having these sleeves and having the pictures going along with text through Synup Campaigns, it allowed a lot more click-through because immediately you're relevant. When I'm looking for a gift and I see right up front, if it's Chinese New Year and there's a Chinese New Year sleeve, that provides immediate relevancy, almost expertise in a sense. You're not just putting any product and just using keywords. You're showing that you really are doubling down on this key event. That pictorial aspect plus all the text definitely did help our click-through and our increase in online purchases and even visits to our locations.
Yeah, no, that's great. And towards the end, we're also going to see the actual drive, the results that we saw, or the incremental increase that we saw in clicks and views, and also in some cases, store visits and phone calls. We'll see that shortly. One of the other things I remember, Raj, was you were trying to, so obviously there was the various offers or promotions. Now this is beyond product. That's something that you were trying to come up with. And as far as I remember, most of these were already there. It's not even something I believe that was created or it came up with in the last maybe 2 years. I believe they were around for longer than that. Some of these were free shipping on a minimum purchase, or maybe free shipping, for a particular time period. Same day pickup. You had one of the other products, which I obviously want you to talk a lot about, is the corporate gifting. That's one of the products that you wanted people to be more aware of, your consumers to be more and more aware of, catering services, gifting events, also custom requests that you were taking. So all these promotions, all these special offers, that's something that you were using campaigns. We were also able to surface these, using various aspects of the third-party GMB profile, or say Facebook profile. We were able to leverage the third-party profile to start showing these offerings and these products, or even these services or promotions of various businesses. So let's talk about that.
Sure.
What has your experience, and how did you even see these growing? And again, keep me honest here. These, I believe, are something that you've been having around for many years now. These are not recent. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, we have all these different things, just like any company would. But quite often in our case, because we don't have a huge advertising budget, we can't afford to bring millions of people to our website. And so we can have as much as you want on your website, but if it's not being exposed, there's more barriers for customers, more clicks that they have to get through, the more information they need to read, and they can't find it at the surface level. You just don't get the click through or the buy through. Corporate gifting is definitely a key part of our business, and events and services. But to get those, you really have to win someone over on the product, and then you need to say, hey, we do these things as well. So it's all on the website. We've always had it. But when we were able to surface it at the listings level, by having constant messaging from any of our locations, having some local keywords, having pictures associated with what we do, corporate gifting, events, live events. When people saw Whoops for the first time, they saw the number of reviews that we had, and we really cranked up reviews. And then immediately they see not only those special events we were talking about, but other things that we have to offer. Those who are already in the mindset, we're creating that impression on them much sooner, and they can then click on that immediately. But they're seeing kind of all that Whoops has to offer in one page, rather than having to kind of dig in or scroll through. And within 2-3 seconds, you have a better picture of what Whoops has to offer. Just by doing that, we definitely saw an increase in people uptaking us on whether it's shipping or finding a location near them for same day pickup and delivery. Calling us and saying, hey, I love the gift, or I love macaroons. I didn't realize I can use you guys for a baby shower or employee gifting or corporate gifting. Oh, hey, you have sleeves? Oh, I didn't know we can customize with our own company. Awesome. And when they see, it's amazing how people have become visual learners more and more so. And so no matter what you tell them or what you write, it's when they see the picture and make that connection, it actually then pops. Otherwise, people don't have that. So being able to have that visual aspect of the campaign with the text did definitely allow us to see that increase in the click-throughs on these promotions and special offers, or the things that we can offer for our customers.
Right. It's all about visuals these days, isn't it? I mean, it's
good call to action. Yeah.
Right. A picture, like the old saying is, a picture is worth 1,000 words. It's still an evergreen statement. Moving on to the products, the French macaroon being the obvious product. I see, and your products really are the collection of boxes, the assorted macaroons, the various sleeves that are created, the pyramids. You have your bestsellers, seasonal sleeves. There's merchandise, Whoops merchandise, as well as gift cards. I saw all these products that were listed on your website, and the list of products, obviously, because of the seasonality aspect and because of more and more special occasions, holiday events coming in. I saw, we noticed your website, and there was a big push, I know, from your side to have these products constantly being updated on the website, being more season relevant. One of the things that you did with Synup Campaigns is to surface these products that are on the website on a dedicated section on the GMB profile. That's something that I believe is very hard to do at scale. I mean, it's next to impossible when you have more than a handful of locations in order for you to do that, let alone the part where you have to go and update this constantly. And I'm going to touch upon some of these things, how Synup Campaigns is dynamically updating content using various triggers. But tell us a little bit about the products. Was there was there any specific product that you saw, gaining more traction? I know some of these products have been around for, as long as Whoops has been around.
Yeah.
But tell us about any new product or any particular product you saw really gaining more views, more clicks, or eventually even more sales. As we started using them or surfacing them via Synup campaigns.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, doesn't matter how beautiful your website is, how beautiful your products are, but if you're not getting in front of your customer in all the ways that they're searching and getting it, the first thing up there to whet their appetite with your content, the look and feel, it's just that much of a harder sale, and you want to fish faster. So with our new website and then the new content we started creating, we wanted to really showcase, hey, choose your own flavor. You can get up to 16 to 18 flavors. You can put that in a box. Oh, you can customize. And, everyone talks about customization, but when you actually show them end products and different scenarios, it helps you kind of buy in really quickly. I was just giving this example to someone, you go to IKEA, you can go downstairs in their marketplace and you have everything, but it's really hard to get your creative juices flowing. And how do you pull things together and build it? But then they have that showroom upstairs where, when you go in the kitchen area, boom, it's right in front of you how you can put it together. And it helps you sell a lot more when you can suggest and show the final product. So in that exact same way, it was when we started showing more of our build your own box sleeves and our different collections, Mother's Day collection. We're always just constantly coming with collections. Not a huge deal for us. Of course, there's some content creating and some photo taking and whatnot, but we saw a substantial increase in our collection sell-through because all of a sudden we weren't really telling people, okay, now build, put these macaroons together and then you can create this sleeve and you can do this. We weren't showing them how to build it. We were giving them a final product saying, hey, this is a Mother's Day collection. It's got these type of flavors, boom. And then if you want to adjust it from there, you can. So showing them the end product was great. And so our collections sell through just started increasing rapidly. And even at the local location level, we're finding anything with sleeves and pre-packaged stuff ready to go selling a lot faster because now people have formed an understanding of what we truly have to offer.
Yeah, no, that's really great. I'm going to actually move on to the next slide just to give everyone a preview of how Whoops is, one of the GMD profile. These are actual screenshot of one of the locations and how when we started running campaigns on Valentine's Day. Yeah, I have Valentine's Day screenshots over here. On the left-hand side, you're going to see how the Valentine's Day specific products were shown up in the product showcase. When someone was searching for Valentine's Day gifts near me, when you have a campaign running and you have posts or when you have content for that particular topic or for that particular trend already available on your third-party profile, it's a GMB profile, it was appearing under related to search. Not to forget the offer post, the info posts, and the newly introduced featured message, which was the COVID-19 message. Using all of these unexplored areas of a business profile to start surfacing content. Well, the part or one of the things with campaigns really was that it was not just going in and creating a campaign for one particular season or for one particular event. You could create a campaign that is just going on and you could have separate or different type of content just changed given a certain day of the week or a certain time of the month or even with certain weather. All of these are built-in triggers where you just create a campaign. That campaign does not have an end date. You don't necessarily have to put an end date. And then it can just go on forever as long as that triggers are playing in place. It can be a location-based trigger. It could be a date, day, and time trigger. It could be even a weather trigger or a special event trigger, changing dynamically the content. So maybe one of the things, Raj, a question that I would ask you here is, how much time on an average Whoops team is spending in creating a campaign? How often are they going in and running a campaign?
Right. So if I expected my franchisees to do this, it would be hours upon hours multiplied by 26, right? And then you wouldn't get that consistency, and they would probably do it wrong and not follow instructions, and not great for the brand. Since we've taken it over and controlled it, we have one person, as I said, who's doing our social media and content, disseminating it, and whether it's Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or LinkedIn, any of the social media platforms. And I've given the role of using GMB and Synup also as that social media or that content out type of performance. And honestly, it's not that bad. It's maybe, I mean, if the photos and everything are ready to go and the copy is ready to go, it's minutes to put up, which is amazing. So it's just part of the workflow with, you know, all sorts of other content dissemination. And it, you know, there's no special work that needs to be done. So I would say anywhere from minutes to maybe a half hour, but I'm hitting every little location. And there might be some nuances where weather or, you know, it's a sunny day. Well, it's, you know, there's a tornado going somewhere. Okay, fine, let's get that. So we can kind of adjust that a little bit. But I would say no more than 15, 20 minutes max. And that's like the worst case, but usually just minutes.
Yeah, no, that's so that, you know, with that, I believe, like you said, with one team member, you're able to manage about, you know, about 27 plus locations now. And, you know, if you were to do this at 27 independent locations, you know, that would be 27 team members doing it, and also losing consistency and, you know, in some cases, timelines as well. Right. So, you know, I'm sure everyone must be curious that, hey, you guys have been talking about, sure, this is a problem. You ran campaigns, everything was great. Let's talk about some numbers. So I have an actual screenshot from the 2022 Valentine's Day campaign. On the left-hand side, what you're seeing is an actual Synup campaign screenshot of how the campaign performance went during the week of Valentine's. This is actually the weekly screenshot taken between Feb 13th to Feb 19th. As you can see, the goal of this campaign really was to increase the foot traffic. So that foot traffic in that particular week compared to previous timelines went up by more than 60%. That's the kind of boost that we saw in just driving directions or store visits. Phone calls saw more than 60% traffic as well. And this is, we are talking about cumulative across all 27 locations. Website visits, about 8%. As you can see, the profile visits. So naturally, we talked about, you have profile views going on. The profile views, when you have related content or relatable content served that is also matching some keywords in some cases, that is just increasing the number of the number of profile views that you get. And that profile views also saw about 20% jump in that particular week as compared to you know, the previous timelines. What you're seeing on the right-hand side is, again, the average across, you know, over the time, an average of the incremental increase across the key metrics, which is the store visits, website visit, phone calls. We are seeing 26% increase in store visits, more than 50% increase in website visits, and then about 23% increase in the phone calls. Now, this is since Whoops started using Synup campaigns. And if I were to attribute all of these to, that would naturally translate to about 20% increase in the revenue. And Raj, I'm going to let you attest that and let you speak a little bit about how you have seen an actual move in the sales going up. Talk about, I think one of the things that you mentioned, I remember about when we talked about it a few months back, that the average ticket price has increased, which means the customer loyalty has probably gone up. So I'll let you speak to it. Yeah.
So prior to 2019, prior to COVID, let's say 2019, our sales were X. We had an average ticket or average order value and transactions. Overall, because of the pandemic and shifting consumer behavior, our traffic in the malls that we physically see has fallen down to 30 to 40%. So the effects of the pandemic and the shift to digital are real. The malls are way slower than they are before. People are only going on occasion and rarely to hang out. It's really purpose driven. So in that world, we need to become purposeful. But while we started implementing this and our pickup, online pickup and delivery, and working with Synup, we've definitely seen an increase in our transaction count compared to what we're seeing physically. So there's more people coming to us as a destination. That's critical. And then more so, I mean, we're just seeing more, as you can see just by the numbers, more phone calls. Most of my franchisees are telling me, yeah, that, you know, the phones are ringing, or at least way more than before. Before it was like once or twice a week. Now it's 3 to 4 times a day. In some cases, we're seeing people learn about us more. So it might not trigger a purchase right now, but what we're finding is when there is a bigger conversion event, Mother's Day, Valentine's, we're seeing more lines out the door because people already formed opinions and figured out where they want to buy for those events. So creating that awareness and implanting that in people's minds, we're seeing higher spikes during these key conversion dates. And just, you know, emails coming through. So overall, we're back to 2019 numbers with higher transaction count versus what we're seeing in the public. But because we've been able to showcase bigger items and get people into the mindset that we're not just selling 1 and 2 macaroons, and you know, that's not the occasion. It's really, we're a formidable gifting company, and think about us for your personal gifting. Think about yourself. Think about us for treating yourself and your family and friends. We're just seeing substantial spikes in these key conversion times, and definitely it's, you know, the campaigns is falling into it, and you can just see it from the numbers.
Yes, no, thank you. I believe we are actually we are a little behind on time. What I'm going to do is, so thank you, Raj, for taking us through the journey. But we'll take maybe a couple of questions. At least I saw there were some questions that were also in the chat. Maybe I'll start with that. Oh, I see, Madeline, you already answered that question. The question was, Synup connects to Yelp, Facebook, Bing, and Google My Business. Oh, the question was, does Synup, which online listings platform does Synup connect? Yes, Yelp, Bing, Facebook, Google My Business, that's right. Can you update the local listings in Synup for all of those platforms? I saw, Madeline, you answered that as well. Let's see if we have any other questions. Oh, we have one question here. So the question is, how much time does it take to manage campaigns every week? That's a good question. So I'll take that one. And maybe Raj, I'll let you add, you know, once I'm done answering probably. So the way Synup campaigns are designed really are, you create a campaign and you can schedule a campaign ahead of time. You can create a campaign that is going to post content on your third-party profile, on your Google profile, for example, GMB and Facebook profile. It's going to publish content every single day until the end date that you put. Or you can create a campaign that is going to publish content on your profiles every third week or every other week, and you put that end date. So it's really based on the need. However, in order to how much time you spend creating a campaign, like Raj said, it's literally a matter of few clicks and few minutes that you go in and create a campaign, as long as you have the content ready. There is not a lot of management, but on weekly basis, there are campaign analytics reports that show you what kind of what kind of boost you saw, if there is any incremental increase, or if there is any decrease compared to the previous timelines. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. We have another question, Alexandra White. Hi, Alexandra. What does the process look like to set up campaigns? Yeah, so the question is, how do you go about setting up a campaign? So this is actually a product, a feature that is built into Synup core platform. Alexandra, I believe maybe we can have a follow-up call and show you how to go about setting up these campaigns within Synup. However, it's something that with a few clicks, as long as you have content ready, and you can actually use the content that you've already created for your website and create the first few campaigns in order to see how that shows up on your GMB profile or your Facebook profiles. That's how do you go about it? It's built into the Synup platform, the Synup core platform. Let's see if you have more questions. Question here is, perhaps I missed this, but could you share how to set up campaign parameters? If I'm understanding this question, this is on how do you go about setting up how campaigns is delivering on any KPI. That's really how I'm understanding this question, Daniel. I'm going to start answering, but if I misunderstood it, please respond on the chat. So campaigns is when you create a campaign, really, the steps you take is you actually select a primary goal on why you are creating this campaign. Do you want to drive store traffic? Do you want to drive the number of phone calls? Or you just want to drive more website visits? And you might have a new landing page or a new product that you would want to spread more awareness or drive more sales for. So based on the goal that you have selected, campaigns, as they are finishing a run could be a run that is going on for 1 day, 1 week, or even 1 month. It is going to gather the analytics data, how it has impacted these 3 KPIs: the store visits, the phone calls, and also the website visits. That's really how the campaigns is extracting this data and showing how much boost that particular campaign has created. Also keeping in mind the trend that your business already had. So if your business was trending upwards, and if it suddenly saw a spike, that's really what the campaign has contributed to. If it was trending upwards and it didn't really make a huge difference, then campaigns really didn't contribute much. I mean, that's really how we are setting up, or that's really how we are calculating the impact a campaign is creating. All right, I don't see any other questions. However, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Raj, for joining. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate this. Please feel free, to those listening, feel free to reach out to us directly. And if you have any questions, if you would like to do a deep dive on any of the topics that you saw we touched upon in this webinar, we'd be happy to answer that. Thanks, everyone, and have a good rest of your day. Thanks, Raj. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.